everybody, Trevor here, and welcome to another top video. You may recall my top 5 favorite Thomas toy brands video where I placed Bachmann as the number 5 spot. Well, for today, I thought it'd be best to do a top 20 Bachmann Thomas items I'd like to see be made. Before we start this, I just wanted to say thank you so much for over 4.4 thousand subscribers. It really helps me a lot. Now for this list, I'm only going to include those that have the possibility to be manufactured. So don't expect there to be an HO scale version of Winston nor Fergus the railway traction engine because, for one thing, Winston would most likely be too small to have an HO scale model. Secondly, Fergus only appeared in season 7 and never returned afterwards due to mechanical issues. I also won't be including any non-televised characters like Bear for Hornby because most of them don't sell very well, which may explain why Bachmann cancelled Fred Pelhate and Rickety in the first place. In addition, I want this list to mainly be about engines and rolling stock, so don't expect any sort of scenery or any other accessories in this video. Now keep in mind that this list is from least likely to most likely, because I want my number 1 spot to be something very special. Also keep in mind that this is going to be a very long video, which is why I'm going to split it into 2 parts. So buckle up because we'll be diving deep into which Thomas items I'd like to see manufactured in Bachmann form, whether in HO, G, or N scale. So let's get chugging. Number 20 is Lady the Magical Engine. The reason why I love Lady is because not only is she beautiful, but Beryl Croft did a fantastic job voicing her in Thomas Magic Railroad, in my opinion. But the reason why she's extremely low on this list is because, for one thing, she only appeared in both Thomas and Magic Railroad and Calling All Engines. Secondly, many people criticize her for being a plot device, which is a fair point, but still, I like the movie regardless of its hate. And thirdly, if they can't make her in HO scale form, then I guess they'll have to give her the same treatment as Winston's G scale form. I don't know, I still would like for Lady to be made by Bachmann someday, whether in HO scale or G scale form. Number 19, Spencer's Brake Coach. This was a Hornby exclusive, and sadly, Bachmann only made the composite version, which I might get someday. I really don't understand why Bachmann wouldn't want to make this. Maybe it's because it looks too similarly to the composite coach, or maybe that Spencer normally pulls one special coach in the show, example season 7. Well, whatever the case, I still think Bachmann should make the brake version of Spencer's coach just to complete Spencer's long train, because they already did that with the red and green express coaches, so why not do the same with Spencer's coaches as well? Number 18. Gordon's Special Blue Coaches. Not to be confused with Spencer's coaches, but these particular coaches only appeared in the season 10 episode Emily and the Special Coaches, also known as Emily and the Special Cars for some reason. That's one reason why these are number 18. The second reason is that I'm not so sure that this will likely happen since we already have Gordon's Green Express coaches in HO scale form. But still, I would love for these blue coaches to be manufactured just because they look cool. And my favorite color is blue, by the way. Number 17, City of Churro. In case some of you don't know, there was a Hornby model of the City of Churro who was believed to be the first to travel over 100 miles per hour, according to Thomas in one episode. And in all honesty, I wouldn't mind this character to be re-released by Bachmann, whether he's faceless or not, because for one thing, he's one of the only few Thomas characters in the TV series that's based on a real-life locomotive. And furthermore, he's also good friends with Duck, though I did wish that City of Churro had a face in the show, if he ever returned in full CGI, that is. Number 16, Splatter and Dodge. These two Class 08 diesel shunters were Diesel 10 series sidekicks, who first appeared in Thomas Magic Railroad. Unfortunately, they're number 16 on this list for many reasons. For starters, they only appeared in the first movie and never came back afterwards. Although they were going to return in Day of the Diesels and The Great Race as cameos, but were ultimately replaced by new characters. In the final cut of Thomas Magic Railroad, they were useless characters and were mainly made to sell toys, Not to mention that they were the last new characters created by Brett Allcroft. And because of all this, Splatter and Dodge have unfortunately faded into obscurity, and they weren't really that popular. In my opinion, I don't hate Splatter and Dodge. I just wish they had a better purpose in the movie rather than just stand there and do nothing but chatter. However, because Bachmann does listen to their fans, I think it would be nice if these two diesels get manufactured as HO scale models because not only it would be awesome fan service, but it would give them some more publicity. So that way, kids nowadays can know and learn who these two characters are. Number 15 is Arthur. Arthur is a very underrated Thomas character, and he only appeared in the model series. He mainly works on the Normanby branch line, which has fishing villages. And because he's so underrated, he deserves the number 15 spot. But at the same time, I would love this character to be remade as HO scale for Bachmann, because like Splatter and Dodge, this guy deserves more publicity than what he already got. In fact, his last appearance was in season 12 where he cameos behind Oliver. But unfortunately, he didn't have a CGI face then. And if Arthur were to have a voice actor, I think he should have been voiced by either Tom Stewarton or Nathan Clark, because I think those two would do a great job as the character. But let me know what you guys think. Number 14 is Belle. I know a lot of people don't like Belle, not just because of her face design, but because she has unrealistic water cannons on her side tanks, which take up a lot of water. In all honesty, I actually like Belle as a character. Not only is she strong and reliable, but her water cannons make her unique. After all, I don't want Diesel 10 to be the only engine to have an unrealistic addition to him. As for Belle's water cannons, they don't have to squirt out water. They can just be moved around by hands, and the kids could just use their imaginations to make her squirt out water. That's what imagination is for. But I put Belle as number 14 because she looks very similar to Arthur in terms of design, except that she's a different class of locomotive than him. Maybe someday the company will release her as an HO scale model. Number 13, Den. Why Den and not both Den and Dart? Well, mainly because I want to save Dart for part 2 for surprise reasons. But at the same time, I would like to have Den be made into an HO scale model because he's kind of cool, and I do like Keith Wickham's performance as the character. Oh, and don't worry, Dart should also be made into Bachmann too, but that's for another time, so I don't want to spoil too much. Number 12, Neville. Like Arthur, Neville is another underrated character that deserves more recognition than what he got. Not only he's kind and friendly, but his design makes him so unique in my eyes because he looks like a diesel engine, when in reality, he's actually a steamy. If Neville can be made into other merchandise like Wooden Railway, Take Along, and Tomy Trackmaster, why can't they make him into a Bachmann model too? I mean, look at him! He has some of the best detailing I've ever seen, including the rivets and the shape of his footplate. He's bound to have a Bachmann counterpart. Number 11, Diesel 10. I know what you're thinking. How could this character work as a Bachmann model? Well, simple. He could just run like any regular model train would. But as for his claw Pinchy, I don't think it should be electronically moved. Otherwise, it would waste not only money, but also electricity. But I still want the claw to be articulate and be moved by human hands just to make it cheap and easy. If the people at Bachmann ever decide to make an HO scale model of Diesel 10, not only it would be a blast from the past, no pun intended, but like Splatter and Dodge, it could give the character even more publicity than just a movie-only character. Oh, and make sure his model has that classic evil grin face instead of his CGI one. Otherwise, some fans will get pissed off with the CGI modeling and stuff.